I'm Robyn Griggs Lawrence, Editor-in-Chief of Natural Home Magazine. Today we're visiting the home of Suzanne Jones and Rob Alaya in Northern California, and this is one of the most spectacular green remodels that we've ever run into for Natural Home Magazine. It features solar power. They took a wreck of a home and have just packed it with great eco-friendly features. So let's go take a look.
Well, we were looking around for land or a house with a lot of land back in '98. And I drove basically all over the Bay Area, 9 counties, far and wide, to find a spot to build on. And ultimately, it turned out that there was a house that was already here that had been built 25 years earlier. And we just loved the site. It was by far the most beautiful thing that we had found. So we just plunged in and bought it, imagining that we weren't going to live in that house for very long.
It was a pretty unpleasant house to start with, and Rob and Suzanne came to us wanting to transform it in as green a way as possible.
The central theme of the whole project was to try to do the remodel in a sustainable and environmentally friendly way as we could. So we not only emphasized energy efficiency, but we also used just a tremendous amount of salvaged materials.
In so many places throughout the house, wood was, like in the demolition process, wood was carefully pulled apart and each piece was saved instead of your typical rip it apart with a crowbar and throw it all away approach to remodeling.
This flooring was salvaged maple from a building, a postal building that was in Los Angeles that was built in the 20s and taken apart, recently. A lot of the house is oak from 2 oak trees that fell right here on the property. Actually, one right down the driveway at our neighbor's house, and then another right behind the house. And so we milled one of the trees that fell. We milled into slabs, basically, and we dried them ourselves in our garage. And then the other one we used several long limbs as columns, support, structural columns for parts of the house.
And the other thing that was really interesting about the project was like not adding anything to the footprint, like not changing the footprint of the building. So working within the perimeter of the existing building to do the remodel. And we actually added square footage by enclosing the basement and bringing that into the living space. It was like an unconditioned basement, and so we finished off the walls and stuff like that, and that actually really helped with the energy performance of the building.
Overall, by the time we finished the house with no additional square footage, there was a 9-fold increase in energy efficiency.
The insulation, the improved windows, and then also designing the house from the perspective of passive solar heating and cooling. That in combination with the solar hot water and the photovoltaic systems mean that our annual energy bill for the entire house, that's everything, pardon me, is about $200 for the whole year, for everything.
To learn more about this house, check out the March-April 2007 issue of Natural Home.